I'm Christian. I'm 18 years old. I go to John Paul the Great High School. I'm a senior right now. I was born without my right foot. It was a diagnosis called fibular hemimelia, which is the lack of a fibular bone in my right leg, and that resulted in me not having a right foot. And I got my first prosthetic when I was about 8 months, and I've never let them slow me down since. My dad always told me, if you think you can, you will, and I've believed that my whole life. And even at times when it's gotten hard, I've always believed that I could do everything I put my mind to, and it's always gotten me through everything. And recently I started going to, well, about 6th grade, 6 years ago, I started going to Walter Reed to get my prosthetics care done. And at Walter Reed, it was the Wounded Warriors that were all there getting their prosthetics care done. And I'd be in there, this little 12-year-old kid with these combat vets, and they had just gone through these traumatic war injuries, losing multiple limbs, skin grafts, limb grafts, and they're looking at me like, well, what happened to you? I was like, oh, I was born this way. And I talked to them. I told them that I was playing soccer, basketball, and they looked at me and just said, well, if you can do it, then there's no reason that I couldn't do it. So they took that from me, and I learned from them, like, no matter what happens, I could be worse off, I could be better off, but you just got to take what's given to you and go with that. And so I've been doing that ever since, visiting with the guys, and it's always been that same conversation. Well, I'm playing soccer, I'm playing basketball, my leg isn't slowing me down at all, there's no reason it isn't going to slow you down. And a lot of those guys are getting back into the military. And recently I just finished up my 2nd year of varsity soccer. I was voted captain both years. I'm about to start with varsity basketball this winter. And so my leg really has never slowed me down in any way, and that's thanks to my parents for never letting it, and never letting me have that mindset that, well, you're given a disability, you don't have to try things if you don't want to. They've always pushed me to do everything that I can, and I've pushed and pushed and pushed, and that's why I'm where I'm at today. On a recent trip to Walter Reed, I visited with a multiple amputee. He had lost both his legs and an arm, and he had just gotten out of a 3-month coma, and he was on the verge of death multiple times. And I visited with his mom as well. And I was talking to the guy. He was really weak. He had just gotten out of the coma, and he was looking at me, and he was astonished with my prosthetic leg. But the one thing he really wanted to know if he could do was if he could go to the beach. Like, he wanted to know if he could get it wet, could sand be in it. And I told him that I go to the beach every summer with my family. I'm in the waves with my cousins, and his face lit up with joy about what he would be able to do with a prosthetic, or he'll have 3, but he was so fascinated and so thrilled that he would be able to go in the water and be in the sand. And I think that was me, because I was able to show him that he was able to do that.